Ready to go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Ray and Jay Odyssey. I'm one of your co-hosts and the player for tonight, Jay. Directly in front of me, we have
Coach.
and to my immediate left, we have
Ray.
Again, we're back, dwelling back into the madness with Arkham Asylum. But when we last left off, we got a new gadget. We got the new Batclaw that we're about to use right now. Let's see. We fought Bane. We did one of the missions with Scarecrow. We did a couple of stealth missions, and so we're learning more about this supposed secret Titan drug. So we're on our way to figure out get more info about that. So we don't really have a question per se, but if you saw the title, this is like the weird Batman laws, and don't worry, these are not federal laws or anything like that. These have to do with Warner Brothers specifically. They're weird laws when it comes to Batman, any associated characters, and so on. By that I mean what they'll allow in TV versus what they allow in film.
Sorry, Mom. A little longer to find them than you figured.
So we backtracked a little bit here. If you recall, we did this. This looks familiar. It is. For a reason, the game decided to set us back. But thankfully, it is not Bioshock levels of setback. Which I know the boys have told me a lot of horror stories about that.
As Gotham's veins slowly filled with
So
pain
let
and
Amadeus
sorrow,
Arkham yap for a little bit.
the effects were felt everywhere. My father fell first, infected by some foul disease. My mother lived on, but only in a dream. I returned to the family home to care for her, for she remained in her bed for as long as her body continued to breathe. Her tears kept me awake at night.
So, going back to what I was saying about the laws, they have weird issues when it comes to what's on TV and what's on film. For example, there's been a lot of Batman cartoons over the years, and Batman might not have been necessarily the star, but he has been involved in quite a bit of cartoons. Like, for instance, I know Ray is going through the Justice League cartoons that came out in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And he's having a fun time with it, right?
Yeah, it's nice to rewatch. And I came across the episode where part of them went to the past, where Vandal Savage took over.
Oh
Right.
yeah, that's a really good episode.
Yeah, basically he took the place of Hitler. But it left me with some questions.
As any time travel story does, and
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the realm of superheroes.
Oh man, just in Justice League alone, there's so many times that they time travel, and it leaves me with questions. One of the most infamous questions from Justice League though is when I asked, so there is a Jesus in this universe?
Oh, do we really want to break the viewers' heads with that one?
Not yet.
Okay, we don't have a whole lot of DC games, but there's a lot of sessions with them, so you got to pick them.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in another session. But
We'll have to do that for God of War too.
oh yeah. So, they take out Vandal Savage. He had replaced Hitler. He was doing all these things, and he ended up winning and messed up their future. So that's why they were trying to stop him. But they stop him. They go to the past, and when they left, Nazis are there and like, oh, who's gonna take over? And they find a frozen Hitler.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the heroes just left him alive and left history to just carry out as it did.
Right.
I was like, is that for the better? I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I know people make this whole thing of like, oh, if you had a time machine, one of, if not the first thing you do is use it to kill Hitler. I get that, but a lot of people tend to forget that, history might kind of break apart. It will definitely not be all the same world.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
The other thing is it Hitler influenced a lot of people.
Watch this.
Come again.
Don't worry, we're not gonna find him today.
Oh man, some sort of alligator man.
Anyways, Hitler influenced a lot of people. That's crazy, like way to sandwich those two things together.
Okay, you might. Coach, you're really
Like,
gonna have to.
What I'm saying is that like you could kill the person, but you may not be able to kill the idea and his ideologies and like his motives and everything else that was already in place for him. So it's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
could lose.
Careful, Coach. We're kind of standing on very precarious ground here with that statement.
Oh, so what?
Okay.
They know it's true though.
Okay. Just making sure you knew.
It's any adjustment in history, right? Like when you have that much of a following, you didn't damage the structure of why they were together. You just damaged the person.
I hate this area of the game because you cannot use the grapple hook. You have to like just do your own runs, flips and jumps and stuff.
So I'm just explaining like why there are different timelines to just the same decision. Like, oh, just doing that, you didn't end the bad. You just ended the big bad person in charge. You didn't end all the lower ground and lower tier bad on top of it. Like, there's still a lot of other things you have to pick at. I'd say, if anything, you challenge his ideas with something higher, with something, far more positive leaning. Then he can convert on the masses in your favor. Again, it's literally killing them with kindness.
Yeah. That feels like such a gamble.
Which is why time travel is a part of it.
Yeah.
You keep going until it works.
Yeah.
But as I was saying before.
Yeah, with the weird laws of Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Hitler here.
Yeah.
As I was saying. So Ray is watching, Justice League right now.
Yeah.
Which, of course, as you know, Batman is one of the main characters in there.
Uh-huh.
And this Batman is in canon with, the animated series, The Adventures of Batman, Robin, Superman, etc., etc., etc. And animated series had pretty much all the characters in this franchise and that one too. But here's the thing. When they got to JLU, and honestly, those episodes you were just now talking about, right? Vast majority of Batman's cast is not seen. Now, of course, this is a Justice League show, not a Batman show, so I get that. I get why most, if not most of them, would be heavily benched. But, this was the flagship show that started it all. This was, what put Kevin Conroy and whatnot on the map when it came to this stuff. So it's like, I get at the same time not wanting this to be going overboard with it, but at the same time, like, come on now.
Challenge completed. Can you do that?
So with that being said, when in season 1 of Justice League, Joker does make an appearance. He makes a couple of appearances actually. But when it came to Justice League Unlimited, the direct sequel to this, he's completely gone.
Yeah.
As well as Alfred. In fact, none of the Batman sidekicks made it in any part of that series too. Though technically they did. In that episode that you were talking about, Ray, this is one of those blink and you'll miss it type of things. Dick and Barbara are in the background kissing. Like, they don't have any lines. There's no reference to anything like that. But it is their character models. So it's like, okay, that's like the only reference they get to anything.
I think I remember you pointing that out.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the only time. So let's go speed up a little bit. 2004's The Batman, which was also a Saturday morning cartoon show too, which features a younger Bruce Wayne, and it didn't last super long, but I gotta say it's a pretty cool show. I liked it for what it was, but they had their whole Bat embargo thing too, because in that show, 3 very famous Batman characters did not show up at all. Two-Face, Scarecrow, and Ra's al Ghul. Because at that time, The Dark Knight / Batman Begins was already underway. Okay, no, it's right here. So WB is like, no, we don't want to use these characters in this upcoming cartoon. And probably the most infamous example of all of this is the show Gotham. The show Gotham, I will say, for the most part, was able to play with majority of the characters, and they did. Mileage may vary on any of them. I admit that, but there were still a few that were off limits, so they had to be creative when it came to certain things. Everyone knows this, but Joker was, of course, off limits on that show, so they had to jump through a lot of hoops to kind of make it happen.
So what was it that gave it away? The big green glowing question mark?
Yeah. Jeremiah Valeska.
Jeremiah's and Jerome too. But
Yeah.
I think what bugs me the most is that they didn't use Two-Face either. Sure, they had Harvey for one whole episode, and just completely forgot about him since then. Don't make it as dig. I like Gotham for what it was, but there's just so much more potential. So I don't blame the writers of that show. I do blame WB though.
Yeah. It really seems like WB doesn't know what to do when it comes to DC.
Right, but we have hope with James Gunn, which at the time of this is still very, very fresh.
Is that comment going to come back to haunt us? We'll find out.
Yeah, well, it might age like milk by tomorrow, for all I know.
Shut up, Riddler.
That's because an idiot would have found that trophy.
So you may be wondering, why? Why does WB do this stuff for its more famous characters? Well, it's a dumb reasoning, but I will say what that reasoning is. They don't want the audiences to get confused as to what versions of these characters are what versions. Oh, I'll do one more example too, and then I'll move on to something else. The live-action Titans show that was on HBO Max for a while.
Oh, no.
Like, that was probably one of the more egregious examples of this. And there's another thing too. We can't have, something I should tell you guys, we can't have Batman, specifically Bruce Wayne Batman, on television. That has not been the case since Adam West in live action. You can put him in cartoons all the live long day. Nobody cares about that. But in live action, that has not happened since Adam West. That's why you have Bruce Wayne when he's old, Bruce Wayne when he's a kid, Bruce Wayne, or someone else is the mantle of Batman. Or you have Batwoman.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a new character about.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Alright.
Okay.
Penny Young was always a brilliant student who was prepared to do anything to advance professionally. She has built up a reputation for being a cold, calculating woman, focused only on the project at hand. She was hired at Arkham Asylum by Warden Quincy Sharp to head up the Asylum's research department and to finally restore the sanity of the more deranged of Gotham City's supervillains. Alright, Penelope Young, head of research, blue eyes, brunette hair, 5'6", 121. Looks good to me. Appearance, summer 2009.
So this game, she's not from comics.
Alright. Graduated from Gotham University with top honors, dedicated to the pursuit of a psychiatric cure for various forms of criminal insanity, highly focused on career ambitions, and intolerant of people who get in the way of her work.
Cool. Well, so one day I would like. So one WB is like, okay, we don't want to get the average audience member confused as to which version of Batman is this, that, and the others. When it comes to live action, so we'll save the live action stuff for theatrical films, and just mess around when it comes to the other stuff.
So why does it matter about like the being confused?
In reality, Coach, it doesn't matter. But
They think the fans are idiots.
Basically what it boils down to, yes.
Because like any rational look at it, I'm like, how does that make sense? It's like, okay, well, am I? I don't even know like what you're trying to get wrong.
Because see, they don't want someone to watch the live action Teen Titans, see Batman there, and then watch the newest Justice League live action movie and say, "Wait a minute, I saw Batman on the Teen Titans show, but he looks different here. Why? I don't understand. This confuses me." Yeah, see, they don't want that to happen.
Funny if I forgot to mention, like, yeah, he's not in the Teen Titans cartoon either. For that same reason.
He isn't Teen Titans Go.
He is. Again, mileage may vary when it comes to that show too.
Jeez. Don't even get me started on Teen Titans though.
Okay, so where are we supposed to be going here? Okay,
But it's like the amount of work that you would have to put in versus the receptive nature of like a grand majority. You can't control that. They're gonna get confused anyways. I think by breaking it up to this extent, you've made it worse for yourself.
Yes.
It's like one of the worst logics you can add.
And that's why it makes me so mad about how terrible some of the movies have done in the past, because DC, in my opinion, has the better stories, more compelling stuff, more down-to-earth characters. Marvel's the one with the crazy fantasy stories, and yet they succeed at the blockbuster. You know, they succeed in their films. You guys have great stuff. Just take what's on the paper, on the comic, and put it on the big screen. That's all we're asking.
We just want 2 + 2 to equal 4 here.
Yeah.
That's too hard. Some directors wanted it to be. What if it was a 6? What if it was 3?
See, but you got to do 2.
What if we just kept it at 2?
Yeah, no, you just got to go 2 times 3 minus 4 divided by 0.5. Do the square root up, and just do all this complicated equation, to still end up at 2.
Right.
Jeez.
What, Coach?
Just the kick to the back of the head that way. Kind of twirling like handsome Squidward.
Okay. We're supposed to go here.
So, what version of Batman has the least amount of restrictions?
You're talking. Okay, are you talking live action or cartoons at this point?
What version of Batman?
Crazy as it may sound, I honestly think Adam West. It has Batman, Alfred, Robin, which a lot of people forget put any sidekick for that matter. It's, all the villains are here, so
You cannot forget the Harriet that came with it.
that's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
there's no such thing as a perfect version of anything.
I can't believe I forgot about that. And I don't mean the character. I mean your hate for the character.
Oh, I didn't forget. I didn't forget at all. That was funny. I was watching a video talking about the Pattinson movie the other day, and I will. Don't worry if you guys can't. If you or anybody else, I don't forget this because it's such a super 2-second thing. But about halfway through that movie, Alfred was talking to a woman when they were like hanging out at not the mansion, but Wayne Tower, and I just remembered. Because we all watched this together. I remember Coach was whispering, "Oh no, is this the new Aunt Harriet?" But the people making the video said, and I don't think this is true, but that person said like, "Oh, this was like a nod to Aunt Harriet or something like that." I'm like, okay, I don't think so, but it immediately reminded me of what Coach said.
So I'm guessing the top Batman that had like the most freedom was probably, like you said, Adam West, and then animated series, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Because
Because it's like back in those days, they really didn't care about who could do what, who could do that. Because like it may sound like a weird thing to hear now in our modern era, but once upon a time, these characters were not viewed as profitable with these weird, crazy restrictions and stuff like that.
right.
So you just like, hey, I don't care what happens. You can just do whatever you want, make a movie. All right, so what do you want this time? Special combo takedown, combo battering, more health.
Yeah, let's go with health.
More health. All right.
Because
Great.
when I think of animated series, the only thing that seems to be left out was Jason Todd, and even then, that's not true, and unless you consider, if you consider the comics for that.
Yeah, the comics did retroactively try to fit him in there. I wouldn't mind that being like, oh, they could do like an animated, but then again, I kind of don't because R.I.P. Kevin Conroy and all.
Okay, so what is one thing that video game version of Batman is missing that, let's say, an Adam West will have?
Okay, I think these games, this whole series of games, nailed the overall tone and world and characters very, very well. But what I will say that, yep, you know what? Easy. Sidekicks.
Yeah.
Yes, in some games you're able to play them as DLCs, whether that be a storyline or you are just playing them as a challenge or whatever. But also and they don't really become super relevant until Arkham Knight, which is the end story of everything. Which okay, yeah, it's cool, but it feels like a little too late. Come on, man, give us stuff with Dick Grayson. I mean, especially when you had Arkham Origins right there. I know. Well, it didn't take any damage.
I'm also thinking like with how some of these games were, at least the Arkham games,
Hmm.
they didn't have the mindset to include sidekicks in the way that they could probably do in video games now.
Right.
Because like my first thought that comes to mind is God of War Ragnarok or God of War 4, where you have uh, Atreus with and you could do things with him.
Right.
It's not necessarily two-player, but you can switch between the characters.
Yeah.
And so having Batman with a Robin with you, like, hey,
I think that'd be great. Even Nightwing too.
yeah. And then like you can like follow the storyline of like you start off in one game with Dick. Next game, you have Jason. Game after that, you have Tim. And then if they do a fourth one, Damien.
Yeah, these two games never go as far as Damien.
And do what they did in God of War. Age up Bruce.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean,
At what point would you include Terry?
That would be its own game. Completely its own game.
because in this world right now, there is a solid 10 years of unknown stuff that's happened.
Mhm.
We're just mostly told between dialogue and reference material. So how cool would that be to have all that?
Yeah.
Which, in a way, I guess they're kind of doing with stuff like Arkham Shadow, which kind of puts the nail in the coffin here. There was plans for a sequel to that, so therefore having some more stuff within that 10-year gap, but they pulled the plug on it. Yeah.
Uh, I do remember seeing the post that they were hoping to make a Batman game with Terry.
Yeah, that's right.
I shared that recently with my younger brother, who is a big Batman fan, and I had sent him something a while ago, and he responded with, "Trust me, if it's Batman related, I've already seen it." And it's like, okay, cool, but you're missing the point of me sharing it with you. The point is, I want to have a discussion. I want to talk to you about it. I want to hear your opinion.
Something else is coming out. Do you remember when they were going to make an animated Batman Beyond movie? And it was going to be kind of in the same style as Spider-Verse.
Yes.
They showed some concept art for it.
Yep.
But again, shelved.
So frustrating.
Good call on the health. More snipers, we're gonna get more stuff. Darn it. There we go.
See, now I'm just like playing out in my head the story of these Batman games, including Robin's, how it would go.
Okay, let's start. Let's do a clean slate here. Let's say these games never existed. It's now you're now back to the year of our Lord 2009, and let's just say WB was like, all right, for reasons beyond all comprehension, because we all know superhero games back at that time did oh so well. We decided to go ahead and greenlight a top-notch Batman video game. You have full control of the entire Batman universe at your disposal. How would you do it?
So, starting off with a young Bruce Wayne. He's been,
How young?
well, how old was he when he found Dick?
If you're gonna go by this world's logic, he was probably around 30 something, because I know he's 40 something in this game.
Okay. The average age when we, just thinking of the basic story.
I like to say, okay, I just like to say at the youngest 25, because it's like he did go to college, he did graduate college, he did travel the world for a little bit to learn everything else too. Like people do kind of forget that he did study criminology for a hot minute.
Okay.
Like, okay, so that requires degrees.
Right.
Oh, I'm assuming around 28 then.
Okay.
Just to
So, mid to late 20s. We have a Bruce Wayne who's been a Batman for a while. Just for a bit, but he's still in his early years.
Okay.
And we the first thing that we're investigating is we hear that someone is going to be killed. But we don't know who. We're trying to figure that out. And trying to figure out who that is that's trying to kill this person.
what's our location?
Gotham. Like, I'm not going with every single detail here. I just kind of general idea. So, your first mission when you're starting off is like you get the story of like, okay, someone is going to be killed, and you as the gamer are trying to figure out who that is. So you're doing all this kind of stuff. You got this, detective mode, looking at clues, all of that, and that takes you to the circus. And that's when you see the Flying Graysons get killed. And that's
So
you take Dick under your wing.
okay, so I would say this. Traditionally speaking, it was he was in the circus as Bruce Wayne on a date.
Yes.
So would you switch that to okay, now he's just Batman investigating, he just sees it from the distance or something?
He sees it from the distance. And he finds, because, like I said, this is still early Batman. So he's not catching, the big time villains just yet.
Okay.
This is just, for petty reasons that these people were killed.
Right.
So he takes Dick under his wing, and you have moments, little mini games where you're training with Dick. And I want to throw in dialogue options.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we're gonna have the subtitles that potentially say you're training Dick.
Yeah, be Richard.
Yeah.
That still sounds somewhat unnatural, just to say Richard all the time.
Look, any chance you have to whip out your Grayson for training?
No. 50 Shades of Grace.
Jeez. So, now, I would say the game ultimately ends when ends on the note that Batman and Robin have that argument that's split up.
You say that's how it ends?
Yes.
That's
Kind of
that's on
down,
the-
man.
It's on the route for part 2.
Well, that's when we bring in the second game, and that's when we have Jason. And the dialogue options more or less lead to how your relationship is with Dick in later games when he comes up as Nightwing.
Okay. Something I will say, I actually want to put out on here, and we don't have to worry about this for probably the remainder of this year. But we need to do the Batman Telltale games too, a certain.
Okay.
Because they have the dialogue options as well. It's basically like a visual action novel.
Mhm.
And I think they're kind of underrated myself. Because they do play around with the mythos quite a bit. But I do like that idea.
So the second game, we have Jason, and you end on a situation where he is killed by Joker in that game. Third game, you have Tim, but then you have kind of the events of Under the Red Hood.
Okay. You know, it'd be kind of cool. Because while it was done in comics, but maybe a little bit sloppily, in my opinion. But make this a bit more uniform for this. Why don't you show Tim like as a kid in game 1 at the circus? Because that's how that was always true.
Okay. So that's just basically, the skeleton of like these games and how they follow.
Would you change anything about the combat system?
Maybe.
'Cause this is kind of hard to beat.
Yeah.
You know, it is one of the things that people praise this whole franchise for.
Yeah.
And others have tried to imitate it too.
Yeah. Because like I would definitely have it where, how much easier it is in this one to do stealth and to ambush some of these guys. And that gets more complicated in later games. So I kind of want to keep that same level. And I'm sorry, I'm changing the Batmobile. I'm going with a more sleek look.
Oh, so you would want that.
Yes. Getting rid of this tank.
So it's a car. It's a car.
Yes.
Essentially, a massive Hot Wheels.
Give me that car that was in the animated series. Give me that one. Heck, give me Michael Keaton Batmobile. My main problem though is like I wouldn't know who to make as the main villains for each of these games.
Would you use any of them?
I think that is where you have other dialogue options outside the city. You could essentially facilitate who takes over um, your game files at any given session.
Okay.
One thing that I would also, I don't know if I would change, but I think that because you're having this overarching thing with Dick Grayson, I'd actually have it towards Alfred.
Put that in there too.
Get our XP from Alfred no matter what.
But it's more like, your chemistry level with him.
Yes.
So
I think that should be just an overall thing. It's about Bruce's relationship with everyone, and it's all based on your dialogue options.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think how I'm going to try to implement this one is if you kept following with what Alfred was saying, as far as like means to solve things or, enter certain rooms or, fight certain people.
Yeah.
Then he'll act a certain type of way towards that. However, if you completely disregard him all the time, then his dialogue and his help may stop happening. And that could adjust like your difficulty level throughout the game.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as villains go, I think for game one, you're trying to make it more or less Dick's story. Yeah, this makes up an interesting point though. Why not just do all these when you're playing as the sidekicks? Like you're playing not game one, you're playing Dick Grayson, not Bruce Wayne. And you see everything from Dick's POV on everything.
Because I think that's that then creates the obstacle.
So
Is now we're just focused on the psychics and not having to balance even all the characters. As far as villains go, I know I would like not want to include the Joker.
no,
So I give that a rest of a while.
I mean, but you can't have to if you're gonna do it.
Yes, but keep it, to where yes, he was the one that was responsible for getting Jason killed, and then we had the whole argument between Jason and Batman when he comes back and reveals he's alive and stuff, right?
Right.
But it's like that's as far as like I'm showing Joker.
Like period.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will do it. So for me, I would do it, but at the end of a storyline. I will have him like he is referenced. He is built. He is referenced by name and reputation, but we won't actually do anything. And this is kind of why I want to shy away from like the big storylines, like Under the Red Hood and the stuff with Barbara too, because like he's kind of instrumental. And if you, from the storytelling perspective, it comes way the heck out of nowhere too.
Whoa. Who said anything about Barbara? We're not bringing that crippling up.
Wow.
Takes one to know one.
For real though.
Okay.
But my point is like it comes a little bit out of nowhere because it's like
yeah,
if he's just like No, we have never seen or heard from this version of it, but he's in the main plots. What?
To your guys' points about the Jason Todd situation, it's your video game.
Yeah.
Who says you can't change that?
Good point.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of more what I'm going off of. Like, I want to hit some of those beats, but not really do it, scene for scene,
Yeah, because then you're no different from anything else.
Right.
And I don't want it to lose out on the integrity of the character, if you will.
Mm.
But they're just, it's not a law.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get what he's saying. Though. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, here's that like this. Writers of the years have to do things to make things, them make these characters fresh and entertaining. They have to in order for them to endure nearly 100 years of their publication history. I will say there are some aspects that shouldn't be changed, but I think that mostly has to tie with each character's specific origins, though. Like, for instance, Superman should always come from a dying planet. Batman should always have his parents be murdered in an alleyway somewhere. Now, the details of that stuff, like, well, what kind of planet, what kind of show did they watch? Was it the daytime? Was it the nighttime? That stuff is somewhat inconsequential.
Or, you can off-screen it, if you will.
That too. And, that's honestly what, thankfully, modern filmmakers have done. It's like, okay, we just off-screened it. Like the last Superman. It did happen. They said on-screen, like, Krypton blew up 30-something years ago. That's all we need to know. Come on. You want to.
You can get them right there.
I could.
Because there's only 3 of them left.
True. But I haven't been detected so far yet in this one. I'm trying to see how long I can deal with that. He's coming. He's coming. Yoink. You're the... Okay, going back to what we said about villains. Since it's mostly following Robin in the first one, Tony Zuko, gangsters. Just nothing. Just do nothing but the gangster characters. Zuko, Falcone, all those guys.
His neck is broken.
Yeah, I've been doing that all night. I say for once, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't done this a long time ago. Do Long Halloween as a game.
Yeah. That would be
so many filmmakers saying we were inspired by the Long Halloween, but we don't do the Long Halloween storyline. They only said we're inspired because they want to do like focus on crime stuff or say it's early in Batman's career. That's the only things they take away from it.
Mm-hmm. You just have the one person?
Yep. Just couldn't find him. Wow.
Over here! Get him free!
Yeah, I'm coming.
That's it! We tied up!
I know. If you did Long Halloween similar to how they did El Noir, that'd be so cool. But just go around crime scenes, gather the evidence, make the connections, do the interviews, all that stuff, man.
And sorry, folks, if you really enjoy my inner thoughts of Batman during these games. I'm not doing it at the moment because I have a sore throat.
To be fair, though, because you have a sore throat, that honestly might work in your favor.
It hurts.
I mean, you don't have to do it. Just do. I'm saying how you are speaking right now. Nothing added. Can still work.
Over here! Get it free!
Who are you again? Oh yeah, right.
And this is the remastered version.
Yep.
I kind of wish that we went with the original, just so Coach can see how stiff some of these characters look.
No, this is way stiffer actually.
No. See, there's at least some movement, some facial expressions. Like, he's looking around as he's talking and stuff, making gestures. Now, I remember him just standing there. Thanks, Batman, for saving me. Yeah, I'm Batman.
Hello? Someone please respond. Hello? Anyone on this channel, please respond. Central Control, please respond. Anyone out there? Oh,
Can I get?
going out to the noches of working on the chapter as I speak. Bells ring before the hours soon up. Not to mention the audience crowd parade and play the part. One way or another, our formula will be fine.
So, Coach, do you have any idea how you do a Batman game? Or a series of games?
I'm not going to be too far off from what you've already said.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll just tack on a couple of extra things there and just say, like, hey, like, I want the relationship with Alfred to matter a lot more than just like a tutorial voice, you know?
Yeah.
I'm also kind of thinking about the actual puzzles that you'll have to solve, or the crime scenes that you'll visit, because I don't think that we do a whole lot of it. We just kind of go to locations.
This game, not really. In the last game we played, there was more to it, which I think was a big plus in its favor.
And and City, it improves.
Now, of course, like, we haven't done a ton of the side quests and all that, but I don't think stuff like that should be optional if that is like one of the main components of Batman.
Right.
And then the other thing is, kind of dealing with the psyche of Batman. And like as was mentioned in the previous game, like how there's different things that will happen. There's different things that other villains have done throughout their time. But I want to know how it affected Batman.
Right.
I want to know, like, oh, like if you created this scenario for, a Bane, then I want to know, like, okay, if you made Bane do something, where was Batman? Why couldn't he step in and save it? So I think like how that works for me is throughout your time and your sessions of going through something like this, right? Like the way that Jay's playing right now. If there's like some sort of a ticker, like a news ticker on the bottom, that just calmly says that, like, oh, hey, like one of your other villains that you're not paying attention to has done something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I will say, in City of Night, they do play with the idea that multiple villains are at large at the same time, which I do appreciate. But I do like the idea of the ticker, though.
Like it was that feeling like there's so many things going on, and we can't be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah. So now it's just a matter of like, okay, which crimes do I stop? Which crimes do I commit? And you won't even know the severity level
Right.
until you visit it afterwards. Now, I think as far as a video game thing, that's a lot of moving components in the background. So that might be very difficult to do. But I also kind of think that, some of these things can just be fixed. Because obviously it's going to be happening off screen.
Yeah. I think of the Spider-Man games. How many times are you just swinging around and someone calls for help? Because they're,